you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm really good. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. It's great to meet you, and I'm looking forward to chatting with you and drinking with you and having a good laugh with you.
Yeah, speaking about drinking, I'm not a big whiskey fan,
That's fine.
but I'm going to give it a crack.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe we should start with that.
Ooh.
Yeah, let's kick
All
it
right.
off with that.
Look out, look out. Let me grab you a glass. There you are.
Thank you.
Cheers. So this is the Glen Grant, or Grant, depending on where you're from. Glen Grant.
Right.
I don't know. This is my first time having this one. Single
That's
malt
what she
Scotch
said.
whiskey. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Let's see what it's like. Hopefully
Okay,
it's a good
so
one.
should we, cheers,
We'll
and then I
definitely do
feel
that.
like I need to smell it first.
Yeah, sniff it. Yeah, don't just put things in your mouth without sniffing them.
Well, I don't know. I think it's all right. Scratch and sniff. Ready?
Fuck. I wasn't expecting that.
Well, actually, it was pretty good.
Jesus.
It's so warm. I've been called many things, but Jesus is right up there.
I'm incredibly impressed. Do you not normally drink whiskey?
Never. That's actually the first time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, well, if you're going to do it properly, right?
I guess so. Do you want more?
Not right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not right now? Okay. That's crazy. Thank God you're a nurse.
Yeah, well,
Since we're on that topic, can you tell me what it was like for you being in that world during the COVID pandemic?
yeah, it's pretty full on. It's still
Yeah.
pretty full on right
Is it?
now. Yeah, I don't think they, as a frontline worker, like I work in emergency,
Hmm.
and it's a credit to all of the staff. And
Yeah,
it's
of
not
course.
just the frontline workers, but it's from the cleaners all the way through.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's right. That's still there. That's still facing that
Totally.
potential infection.
Yeah, 100%. And so I think that the risk was very relevant.
Yeah.
But we have definitely seen like an influx, and then you've seen it soften, and then we've seen an influx and soften again. So
Okay.
I just think that this is the norm now.
Yeah, right. Okay.
It's, like not sort of dulling it down, but everyone sort of gets the flu. It's
Yeah.
going to be a bit mundane, like everyone gets COVID.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
sort
sure.
of, and I think the stigma associated to COVID, it isn't like that now.
Yeah.
And you can see that with the government, so forth, with the restrictions being lifted and,
Yeah.
the precautions and being isolated and all that sort of stuff. Everything's sort of becoming a little bit more relaxed because
Yeah.
it's just part of normal everyday society now.
Yeah, it's not going to go anywhere.
No, that's right.
Yeah. And there's a good chance that it'll mutate again. It's
Totally.
mutated several times.
100%.
Yeah. Yeah. And so do you find that within working in emergency services, I'm guessing you deal with a lot of trauma, like instant, car crashes and
Yeah, we deal with lots
beatings
of
and
stuff. But I
stabbings.
love what I do.
yeah, cool.
I love it. Like
Yeah.
I love going to work. Mm-hmm. Like I absolutely love everything about it.
Good.
And for me, nursing is very new to me. I've only been a nurse for a couple of years. Mm-hmm. So my previous history is I've been a hairdresser and a makeup artist and a model in the fashion and film industry for, 20 years in between having children.
Yeah.
So for me, nursing was about being able to change somebody's moment. And
Yeah.
I get to do that
Yeah.
freely every day.
Wow, that's cool.
And my patients never get a say in who gets to care for them.
Yeah.
And when I finish with a patient or they get transferred to a ward or whatever, I always say, I'm so thankful to be a part of your journey.
Oh, wow.
Thank you for allowing me
Okay.
to be part of this.
Yeah.
You don't get a choice.
Yeah.
But I get the option to make it a really good experience for you.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about it.
Yeah. That's really cool. That's a
Yeah.
great way to look at it.
Yeah.
I'd never sort of thought about it like that. Thankfully, I've never, as yet, touch wood, been in like emergency myself.
Well, you haven't lived then.
Yeah, I know. I've dodged a few bullets, I suppose.
Literally?
Well,
Catch
no.
them with your teeth?
Yeah. No. No, that wouldn't be good. But I mean, I guess like I've hurt myself. I've gone to hospital because I've hurt myself, but I've never been in like a life or death situation at hospital.
Yeah.
So
As an emergency nurse,
yeah.
I try to not frequent there as a patient.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah. And
And
it's a good idea.
it's quite interesting because the people that I love and care about the most, I'm so jaded
Yeah.
that, are you still breathing? You're fine.
Yeah.
Good luck to you.
Yeah.
you do not need to go to the ED.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. And I
yeah.
guess it's probably not the type of like when a customer leaves.
Can I just say, this
Yeah.
is like the whiskey is
You like
giving
it?
me a very nice buzz.
Whiskey's good for that.
And it's kind of warming my stomach.
It's warming.
Yeah.
It's inviting. It's friendly.
And the cold
wanna-
heart that I have
Yeah,
is
it's
now
warming up.
somewhat like lukewarm.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
it's defrosting.
that's very
it.
nice. Yeah, it's like thawing out a little. So
pleased
thank
to
you. I
hear.
appreciate
That's
for that
all right.
experience.
I guess it's probably within your line of work. It's not the type of job where, at the end of it, you know that you'd say to a customer or a patient like, "All right, hope to see you again soon." You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no,
like,
you know-
kind of want it like, I'm pleased that you're well, but like, try not to come back.
Yeah. So my throwaway line with
Yeah.
most of my patients is like, next time when I see you, I look forward to seeing you in the Woolies line.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
But
Yeah, that's nice.
I have like an older couple who I'm very fond of, and they always come in together. And I see them quite regularly in the ED, and I love them
Yeah.
so much. And every time I go in and see them, even if they're not my patients, I give them a hug. They recognize who I am. I'm like, what are you doing back here? Why am I seeing you back here again?
Yeah.
You know, but it's nice to be able to form those type of relationships with your patients, because in emergency, we're patch and dispatch.
Okay.
Like, you know,
Yeah.
stabilize you, bye.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
So we don't, in nursing holistically, when a patient goes up to the ward, you are fortunate enough to be able to see and be with the patient from when they first land on the ward to potentially when they discharge. And that could be a matter of weeks.
Right.
So you can build that relationship with
Yeah,
them.
sure.
But in emergency, we don't.
Yeah.
You know, you're only there for a matter of hours and then see you later.
So then, and then you hand them on to those
Yeah,
other
you hand
nurses.
on- yeah.
Did you specifically want to be an emergency?
1,000%.
Okay, so that wasn't sort of like, well,
No.
that's the job that's available.
No,
You
I
wanted
remember when I was studying in university and I walked in on my last placement to an emergency department, and I walked in and I remember vividly walking through the doors,
Yeah.
and I was like, I've just walked into home. This is where I'm meant to be.
Wow.
Actually, it gives me chills now.
Is that
like,
right?
this is actually where I'm destined to be.
Wow.
Yeah. Gives
Wow.
me goosebumps.
And because you've worn so many hats.
So
you know?
many.
And that's,
And not necessarily the good kind, let's be honest. But, you know.
some of those hats might have been see-through.
Some of them may have been flipped off every now and then with a pair of feet, or who knows what else.
So it's probably not really a fair question to ask whether or not you have a hat that you prefer to wear, because perhaps, and I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but perhaps at different stages of your life, that particular hat that you had on, that was the right one. And right now, one of the right ones perhaps is the emergency nurse.
Well, I feel it's not about a particular time in your life. I feel that I wear many different masks or hats, as you say,
Yeah.
in a day.
Yeah, okay.
So I'm a mother, I'm a wife,
Yeah,
I'm a friend, I'm a nurse.
yeah,
So I feel that I get to wear a lot of different variations during the day.
yeah, cool.
And yeah, I just referring back to nursing, like I just love it.
Yeah.
And my team, I love my team that I work with. I'm really fortunate to be with an awesome team. But I'm so out there. I'm such a big personality.
Yeah.
And I work night shift all of the time. It's a bit nocturnal.
Yeah,
And most things, I'm too much for most people, because I walk into like our initial sort of chats when the department gets handed over to us,
Yeah.
and I bust in and I'm like, good morning. What's up, motherfuckers? You know?
That's awesome.
And they hand out the allocations and so forth.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, fuck yeah, you know, present. Have a great shift, everyone.
That's cool. That's a great
sort of
energy to be around.
my energy
Yeah.
every shift.
That's great.
And I love it.
Yeah.
And so I think nursing is very jaded. And I think going through the degree, like I literally have a degree in extreme hand holding. Yeah, like, and I say that to my patients.
Yeah.
Like, if you need your hand held and you need to be swaddled, I'm your girl.
I'm your girl.
I'm your
I
girl.
got you.
I've got this. But, you know, patients come to us in it's such a terrible moment for them.
Yeah.
And they're in a foreign environment, and it's super driven by anxiety and feeling anxious and sometimes feeling very alone.
Yeah.
And I get to be a part of that.
Yeah, sure.
And what I love, I have a huge passion for mental health. I'm a huge advocate for it.
Cool.
And when I have those patients that are either very aggressive or suffering mental health concerns and so forth, for me, that's where my heart beats the most.
Okay.
And I just am like, in a funny way, I'm like, I'm going to fucking break you. You know, I'm going to change this for you.
Yeah.
And so recently I've had very aggressive patients being threatened to be stabbed, you know, punched, all the rest of it. And I love nothing more than killing my patients with kindness.
Yeah, okay.
And absolutely going the extra mile, which I always do anyway. That's part of my patient care.
Yeah.
But going the extra mile to the point that that patient then has an incredible experience.
Yeah. And leave hopefully a better person.
Totally. Or is not jaded by their experience by coming into the hospital.
Sure.
And it's super scary.
Yeah,
it's
it
super
is.
scary to come in and be vulnerable and have a patient who is scared, unwell, doesn't know what's happening with them and isn't informed. And just sometimes it really is about having a cup of tea, a sandwich, and having somebody hold your hand and go, you know what, I get it. And I'm here for you.
That's really nice. That's really nice. As someone who suffers from very extreme anxiety, I can...
Exhibit A.
Oh, right. Yeah. So, okay. So same with myself. Yeah, really extreme anxiety. And I can appreciate how that would be a nice thing to receive, particularly if you're in an emergency room of all places, where it's like...
There's alarms going off, there's beeps going off, there's, emergency
there's panic,
calls
there's
happening.
running around.
Totally.
Confusion.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a super scary place. And so for me, I try never to be a patient.
Yeah, exactly.
My husband forces me to sometimes. But I try never to be a patient. But I can understand what that feels like. And if you have no one or you have family that are there, like it's about providing that care for all of the family.
Yeah.
Like we are taught that in nursing. And there's a huge stigma with nursing of that nurses eat their young. Right. And that's sort of like, the older nurses that are there are here to, ride you and do this and do that and that sort of thing. And I'm just like, no, I'm going to be the change.
Yeah.
I'm going to create the change. I have students that come to me that I'm fortunate enough to be able to help facilitate on their placements or be buddied with them. And I've learned from literally failure.
Yeah.
Like coming into the emergency department, I was very fresh. I was very new. I hadn't worked in the ED before other than being on placement. And you learn from failure. And if I can hand that knowledge on, whether they take it on board or not, is neither here nor there.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I want to be able to say, here is the skill set that you can have to be able to provide the best patient care possible and the best outcome possible for them.
Yeah.
And also be a functioning member of a team. You have to remember it's not just you and your patients, it's also the team.
Yeah.
And making sure that when you set up for a shift, that then when you hand over, because nursing is 24-hour care, that you're able to hand over your patients with empathy and care and compassion. And I understand that there's huge stigma associated with mental health and drug-seeking patients or patients with mental health concerns, and that's where I thrive.
Yeah.
I love it. Like the more fucked up you are, the fucking better I operate.
That's awesome.
I just love it.
Yeah. Do you mind me asking your view on Queensland's health current policy on around mental health awareness and mental health care or perhaps lack thereof?
I don't think that there's any lack
of
what's going on. I feel that mental health is so relevant right now.
Yeah.
The resources out there are so relevant right now. And
do you think
so
they're good
attainable? Enough? They are so attainable.
Okay.
But the thing is that with patients who have mental health concerns, you can provide all of the resources possible.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can go 99%.
Yeah.
That patient has to accept that care.
Yeah.
And that's where the difficulty comes in.
Yeah. Like the old, you can lead a horse to water.
Yeah, totally. So that's probably, I used to work in drug and mental health and rehab, a facility on the Gold Coast.
Okay.
And absolutely loved it. Mm-hmm. But I was so consumed and absorbed by it. Mm-hmm. And I would come home and I would still be consumed and absorbed by it
Right.
because I'm invested.
Yeah.
And I actually really care about everybody that I am fortunate enough to look after.
Yeah.
So it makes it difficult when you can see their moments of greatness and
Yeah.
you can see moments of progress. And
Yeah.
I remember one of my first patients when I was at a facility was not speaking at all, would not communicate. And within
Through trauma?
yeah,
Yeah,
a whole range of different things that went on for this particular patient.
Yeah.
And I remember I ended up sitting outside with him and I sat on the ground and he actually had a conversation with me. Mm-hmm. And
But like first time he'd
first
spoken in
time,
ages?
yeah.
Shit.
And so I remember
he chose you.
relaying that to his parents, like, what an honour.
Yeah, absolutely.
What an honour that I get to be that person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I find because I have been through my own mental health journey,
Yeah.
but I find I resonate with those patients really well. What's tough is that when you see those leaps and bounds and you go, yep, great, I'm into this and I can see it. And wow, what a progression just in a few moments.
Yeah.
And then you see them pitfall.
Yeah. That'd be hard. That'd
And
be
so
hard.
1 minute you're the lifesaver, the
Yeah.
next minute you're a fucking piece of shit. And
Yeah.
so that is hard to combat when you can see for them, not for me, I don't care about any of that shit, whatever. But for them, it's like I've seen you come leaps and bounds and all of a sudden you're back to this.
So there's something happened perhaps that knocked them back.
Well, I think that what people get, I suppose, accustomed to
Yeah.
is that way of living.
Yeah.
So when you suffer mental health concerns, and I'm only speaking from my own experience or things that I've witnessed,
Yeah.
is that you get repetition in a repetitive cycle
Yeah.
that then when you venture outside of that, that's foreign
Right.
and that's scary
Right.
and that's unknown. So even if somebody who doesn't have mental health concerns, imagine going and doing something that's completely out of your boundary.
Sure.
That's scary.
Yeah,
You hesitate.
100%.
You get anxious.
Yeah.
You think, oh, fuck, I don't know if I want to do that.
Well, people that get super nervous about like public speaking or anything like
Totally.
that, like it's not necessarily a mental health issue, but it's
Totally.
still a very real issue to them.
100%. And so imagine being able to step out of their comfort zone momentarily in a safe environment, but then all of a sudden, because that's so foreign, what they do is they retreat back.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it's being able to
Right. And then that knocks them back
that knocks
several
them
steps.
back. That's
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so my whole thing with mental health, and look, we all suffer from it, I feel,
Yeah.
at some point in time.
Yeah.
And I never feel like it's an illness that you ever get over.
Mm-hmm.
I feel you have it lifelong and that you just need to be able to find the skill sets to be able to help manage it.
Sure.
I've been on death's door myself. I have been in the slumps of the slumps, and I have been able to basically pick my socks up that much. I now wear thigh-high stockings. And so I think that when you're in that position, you can see the benefits
Yeah.
from being in the pit
Yeah.
to being able to function.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that I don't have anxiety every time I get ready and walk out the door.
Yeah, of course.
That I'm not sucking in the deep ones and have to look at my husband to have reassurance that I'm okay and that life is great. Of course. But what about all those people that don't have that?
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
What do they do?
That's right, and it's wonderful that you have that. That you've got your husband. I've been fortunate enough to meet him. He's here with us this evening.
Oh my
And
God, he's the fucking bomb.
he seems like a very nice guy.
You know
I'll
what?
tell you.
It took me a fucking long time to get him, I tell you.
Did it?
It took me a really long time to
Were
meet
you
him.
chasing him?
Please.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Please, there was no chasing. I think it was a mutual arrangement, to be honest. But
Meet
it's,
you down at Hungry Jack. and we'll
yeah,
just fucking sort this out.
hungry flaps, and let's get it on. It's actually quite a funny story. So my husband and I
Yeah.
met through my best friend.
Okay.
And so my best friend and I have been friends for well over a decade. And as it turned out, my husband and I have been in the same circles for the last 20 years
Didn't know that, or
and did not know that.
Wow.
We have been at the
so it
same
must have been distance.
same parties,
Okay, yeah,
been
yeah,
at the same venues,
yeah,
the whole bit.
yeah.
So anyway, I was lucky enough to run into him and I was introduced to him and I remember thinking, wow, you have such a nice smile. And that was kind of it.
Yeah, right.
And then the second time I ran into him, he said hello and he gave me this hug. And it was actually something that I spoke about in my wedding vows. The warmth. Oh, I'm going to get emotional. The warmth.
Have another
from
whiskey. It'll sort
I
that
know,
shit
right?
out.
Let's, you know
It'll
what? Let's get on
fucking
it.
sort that
Right.
shit out. Let's
Yeah,
fucking
fuck
get-
these tears.
Take
Don't ruin
care
my
of those
street cred.
this fucking shit.
Are you going to be a pussy?
It's called
or are you
Chatsworth
actually-
whiskey, not fucking cries and tea.
I know, right? Cry me a river.
No, you get as emotional as you like. Do you want to? Do you want to splash of water? You're a fucking
No,
maniac.
we're doing it. You better fucking do it.
Yeah, but
Otherwise you're out.
I'm putting a splash of water. I've got to do a splash of water.
Oh, no wonder you don't have a girlfriend.
I've got a fiance. But
Oops, sorry.
no, that's all right. Cheers.
Cheers.
Fuck you.
You.
Okay. Okay.
It's so good.
Actually, that wasn't.
Just warms my soul.
Actually, that was really good. I think I have this instant reaction to shotting anything from
Right.
years gone by when I'd shot
Right.
stuff that no one should even drink, let alone shot.
Right.
So now my mind is like, don't do it.
Right.
Don't do it.
Hand sanitizer or Clyde glue probably wasn't your best option.
Yeah,
Just
exactly.
saying. It's
Yeah,
a bad
or
introduction.
Bundy rum or something
Yeah.
nasty like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, then, you have something decent, you're like, oh, actually, no, that's actually.
It's actually pretty good.
like it warms.
And see,
Warms you up.
there you go. There's the anxiety and PTSD from
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So you're
That's right.
reliving that.
I think it'd probably be a bit dramatic, maybe to call it PTSD.
Well, it could be. It's a bit of trauma. Trauma associated with it.
Maybe. Yeah. You were telling me about your vows, and you were about to start crying.
Right. So I remember when he gave me a hug, and there's the difference between when you meet someone and they give you a hug and then it just is a little bit too long and you think, fuck, you're a creep.
Yeah. You're like, what's that poking into
Yeah,
me?
like I was like, oh, that's a disappointment. See ya. Or
And he's like, one more second.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And you're like, and I've let go. You're kind of standing there with your arms beside you, down by your hips, sort of going,
I think technically I was just
are we
right.
done here yet? Like, did I consent to this? Anyway, we didn't have that. He actually embraced me, and I can still actually feel it now. He was so warmth and actually was so present in his hug. And I remember it just kept playing on my mind
Right.
for a few days after.
Right.
And I remember talking to my best friend and I was like, oh my God, like, wow. And we were like on the beach in Surfers Paradise and having a great time. And I was like, wow, this is like full on. Anyway, we both came with very like fine print, red tape, red line down the bottom, both of us, because
Yeah.
my best friend knew both of us,
Yeah.
which clearly neither of us read. Anyway,
still dispute.
I don't even think it's a dispute. I think we kind of whited that out.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, well, that's irrelevant.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think that's a good way to be.
yeah, totally.
Like,
And
just fucking figure it out.
yeah, that's it.
Don't
Just
put
roll
too
with
many
it.
expectations.
100%. And so the first time I actually hung out with him, bless his soul, I said to him, come around and I'll answer the door with no top on.
Right.
Yeah, he was there pretty quick.
Yeah, I would imagine that. Yeah.
Yep, quicker
Not a lot
than a
of fucking
Domino's
around.
pizza, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, didn't have to have a cash back or anything. So anyway, he rocks up and the first thing I did was we were playing cards
Yeah.
and we were playing Strip Snap.
But you were already half, like, topless.
Please, I don't lose anything, mate.
Right.
I never lost a game. So he rocks in and I said to him, look, let's play some Snap, but it's Strip Snap. He's like, okay, I'm in. I had him pairs within 5 minutes. But you know what? I never looked at him. So I didn't even know what I was in for. I mean, fuck, I know
What do
what
you mean
I'm
you
in
didn't
for.
look at it?
Like
You're sitting there playing.
I didn't look what was happening downstairs and thinking, fuck, do I want a piece of that?
Mm.
I was just so excited that I was the champion and he wore the loser crown very well.
I'm sure that he was totally gutted to have lost and been naked in front of you. I'm sure
I
that
think
that
so.
devastated him.
I know,
Yeah.
right. He was.
Yeah. Poor guy.
I know.
Yeah.
Bless-
do you need
bless
a
his
drink?
soul.
Do you need
Bless
a
his
drink,
soul.
G? Do you need
You do?
console yourself?
Cry me a
Very fast.
river. And so then after that, which was crazy, I mean, I've been through a lifetime of not great relationships.
Yeah.
and we ended up catching up for a Taco Tuesday. So my best friend was having tacos at his place.
Yeah. I
And-
love tacos. Mexican's my favourite food.
Oh my
I
God. High five.
I love Mexican.
Yes.
Like, that was a
That's
shit high
me.
five because I was doing it the wrong
Okay,
hand.
hang on, you're right.
Slow
Should
down.
we stand up for
Yeah,
it?
yeah, we
Okay,
got it,
ready?
we got it.
Ready?
Yes.
So-
Give me some taco love.
So apparently, if you said that out loud on the street, they might think something else.
If you're just tuning in, I've got a burrito somewhere.
I can see it. Your waist is 45 inches now.
Seriously, bro? Seriously gonna play me like that?
Is that the COVID curves?
These are. You know what? You're telling this story. I've always been thin, always been tall and thin, right?
Is this what you call thin?
Oh, oh.
Just saying.
No, I was always tall and thin, but
Right,
now I've
okay.
got this little. No, I call this guts with whiskey.
Right. It's like I was a sports model or
Yeah.
pose nude for a living, and now
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just a has-been. So I get it.
Maybe.
I
yeah.
get it,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And so anyway, we caught up and went to. I was actually on my way to his house, and I said to him,
So this is after strip poker. or-
"This was
strip,
after
whatever. Yeah.
strip snap. It was
snap.
actually, by the way.
What's snap? What do you mean? Like snap? Like go fish?
No, like, well, Go Fish is another game
What's snap?
where you have to have the pairs.
I thought that was fish.
No, that's snap. Like, how old are you? Seriously,
40.
get with the times. I'm nearly 42.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Nearly 42 or nearly 40 as
Nearly
well.
40 as well.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So-
Don't keep adding them.
Oh, well,
I think I got
you don't
better
look
with
a day.
age.
You don't look a day over 41. So
Well, that's good because I'm not,
I'm just
but
fucking.
my
with you.
husband is.
No, so no. Explain. I need to understand.
Okay.
So fish. Like if we were playing fish, I'd be like, "Do you have a 2?" And then you'd say, "Go fish."
That is not how you
So
play
what's snap?
So snap is where you halve the deck,
Yeah.
and then what we do is we put the cards
I've only got half
down.
a dick.
That's okay. You know what? Are you half a deck or are you half a deck full?
Half dick full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
So you like basically when you turn your card over
Yeah.
and you would turn your card over
Yeah.
and if it was a queen and you had a queen, then we would go snap.
Oh, I know the game.
Oh, wow.
I remember it now.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Are you
yeah.
on my vibration
I
or
remember
what?
it now.
Like,
yeah,
let's
yeah,
get
yeah,
it
yeah,
together.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it is different from Go Fish.
So we got so aggressive.
We should go to the casino.
We should
Play some
totally.
snap.
Yeah. Mate, I'd fuck everybody up. I tell you right now, I'm the champion. But we got so aggressive as our relationship went on that Gareth actually ended up with a fucking finger injury. And yes, it was from snap. It was not from something else.
Okay.
Just clarifying.
Gotcha.
It was very aggressive.
Yeah.
I actually made him bleed. Anyway, back to the taco story. So we caught up and I
Yeah.
was on my way over and I was saying to him, he goes, oh, I've got a Corona here. And I was like, great, can you just chuck it in the freezer for me? And he's like, I've already done it. I was like, oh, bless your soul. Because I really love like a cold beer.
Yeah, I love a cold beer.
Yeah. And so he'd already thought of me.
We've
that
got cold
I
beer. Do you want a
like.
cold beer?
No,
You
I'm
got
happy
cold
with,
beer?
I'm drinking Prosecco out
Okay.
of my lovely Fit Stop shaker.
You are.
And I'm really loving the whiskey though.
Fuck.
Yeah, I love it.
This is
If I had
crazy.
pants on,
Have you seriously
it'd be
had never...
never. But if I had pants on, they'd be off,
Fair
or like
enough.
pants down. But
Fair
anyway,
enough. Fair enough. Probably a good thing you don't have pants on.
Probably.
I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
No,
Please
no.
tell me the taco story.
no. So we had tacos. Anyway, I caught up with him. I went to his house, and we're on the couch, and then things started getting a little bit risque. Mm-hmm, it was very PG
But
though.
hot and heavy.
It wasn't too hot and heavy, but it was very risque. And
Was
so
it
we
warm
had,
and light?
well, I don't even think it was light, but it was very warm and cozy. I've actually been my married name
Yeah.
longer than I was my maiden name. So we got married very quickly.
But how longer than... I don't
Wow. Do
understand.
we need to fact check this?
What? I don't think... I don't,
Should
can it be fact
Do you
checked?
want me to like break it down for you?
But my maiden name, you mean like your birth last name?
Yeah. So I was Sammii Lee, right? when
Sammii
we
Lee.
got together, which is what I've been known as my whole entire life. And then
Just pause for a second. I didn't realise you were Sammii Lee.
No. Can we please go back to that?
That's not a pause.
Can we please
I'm
go?
recording still. I'll cut it.
Oh, I
Okay,
didn't realise
hang
that you
on.
were Sammii Lee.
What? Who did you think that?
I just hadn't. I'm not super bright.
Hang on. Just pipe down the crowd down here.
I didn't realise
Whiskey.
that you were Sammii Lee.
Right, whiskey. Hang on, whiskey. Let me ask the questions. What do you mean you didn't realise?
Well, because I know the name. And I know it from Zoo. Right,
So
but I
when you
didn't.
introduced me as Sammii from Zoo, an international model and sex columnist, that didn't spark a bit of a thought cloud?
I'm like, no, it didn't.
Right.
Okay.
This is currently
See,
this
Yeah.
is the Zoo
Right.
Real Girl of the Year 2007.
Yep.
This is what I won.
Yes, it is indeed.
Do I look familiar?
Yes.
Okay, great. I'm glad we established that, right? This is the first time I shot for Zoo Weekly magazine.
Sorry, just
For those of you who are listening,
yeah.
I've just handed
Oh yeah. Sorry,
Whiskey
we can.
a beautiful.
Whereabouts do you want that, Seth?
That's pretty good. Top forward.
Top forward. Fuck does that mean? Top
like
forward.
this, that way. Yeah,
Okay.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
that way.
Like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That.
So
Okay.
this is Sammii and Susanna's sex column, and
Okay.
so this
Is
is
that
the
different
sex
from
column. So that was when you introduced me about being the real girl of the year.
Yeah, yeah.
2007. This was my introduction.
Gotcha.
Then we have and because I'm so OCD,
Yeah.
that's why I have little post-its.
Okay. Yeah.
This is the sex column
Yeah.
that we used to write.
Pretty sure I had this edition.
Right.
Yeah. Pretty fucking sure I had this edition.
And so Susanna, dear girlfriend of mine,
Susanna?
so Susanna was
Yeah.
on Big Brother. So she's Susanna from Big Brother.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Is she here in Brizzy?
No, she's down south in Melbourne.
Oh yeah. Close.
And so you know what's so funny?
Sammii and Susanna's sex school.
Yeah, so have a read of that.
Give them your undivided attention. They've got canes. Hot holes. Like hot hole? It's HOLS.
Yeah.
Like,
Like puck holes or bum holes?
yeah, or holes as like holidays. Because
Really?
But it's not HOLES, right? It's just
Like, is this like the PG version or
I don't know.
what? Come on,
everything
Whiskey, let's
in my
get on with
head
it.
is until it's not. I've been thinking of taking my girl for a romantic weekend away that'll guarantee me some wild sex. Have you girls had any similar weekends?
What was my advice?
So that's Susanna. So I'll
Read
just
mine.
for the sake of time, I'll read yours
should
rather than
I read
Susanna's.
mine?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
So-
actually, yeah, let's do it like that.
Tip, fellas. If we agree to do a go away with you for the weekend, we're looking forward to some wild sex as much as you are. As long as you book somewhere nice, not a bunked room above the local biker bar, then we're putting in your hands. Don't fret, you can worry about the credit card later.
Give me another one. All right. Enter Sandman. Let's get some Metallica in this. Enter Sandman.
Right.
Is sex
I
on the
love this
beach
one.
a good or bad thing?
Okay, right. Let me read my response. This is it here.
Yeah.
Well, I've had some pretty amazing quickies behind sand dunes. I just insist on being on top, so the only parts of me in the sand are my knees. And I've never had a bloke complain as of yet.
Did you stay up all night thinking of those? Or
I
Hang on, I got
didn't.
one more. One
Okay,
more.
let's do one more.
Busted bonking.
Right,
That's the title. Busted bonking.
right.
Dear Zoo, have either of you lovely ladies ever been busted by anyone mid-track? From Bodie, Campbelltown, New South Wales.
Well, Bodie, have I got a busted move for you? I was driving home from a flirty dinner with my hot guy when we pulled over on the side of the road for a hot and heavy fumble. When we'd finished, we found a parking ticket on the windscreen. I hate to think how long the parking cop was waiting there watching us.
I like that one. That one's good. That's a bit tantalising. This
You
is
know,
awesome.
if it was me now, I'd be like, want to jump in? Fuck yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Two's
there you go.
company
Oh, no,
and
that's
three's a
Amanda.
crowd.
Sorry, that's not you. That's Amanda.
So, okay, close that for a
So
second.
how
I've
long
got
did
something.
you...
Hang on, I've got
you
something
more?
else for you.
You got more?
Yeah.
Fuck. You got the video? Like the... Anyway,
So,
I'll shut up.
we did a session
Yeah.
with having your boobs in 3D.
So this is 2008. This one's 2007. Okay. Yeah, we got
And I've got it for you here.
Yeah, it is a what, sorry?
Are you like tuned into my vibration or what?
I mean, don't put those magazines in front of me and expect me to pay a lot of attention.
So these are my boobs. Oh, look, the page
That
is stuck
stuck together?
together. I'm pretty sure that was from me, though. Let's just... Oh, yeah. That's what we do. So anyway. Oh, hang on. Just one moment, please.
Righto.
Right. Are you ready?
I hope so. Oh, it's 3D glasses?
Here you go.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Are you ready to get popped?
I was born on a Tuesday.
Right. Okay. So just for everyone that's listening, I've just handed him a Zoo Weekly magazine that's got us in 3D.
Fucking hell. That's cool. Oh, wicked. Wow. I didn't get this episode.
Right.
Or this edition or whatever you call it.
Right. So I think if you just
Right there.
retract back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Far out. It's all like super hot.
But I know
I'd
that
like
you're
to
in your-
become a photographer now.
I know that you're in your 40s, so do you need to have
I'm not
like
in
go,
my 40s. I've just turned
right?
40.
So do you need to go
Why
to?
did
Do
I
you
go
need,
to the page of the guy throwing
do you
up?
need to go to Specsavers? But I've got something to give you.
Okay. All right.
So for those of you that are listening, I've just pulled out the Zoo Weekly Mile High Club Confessions,
Yeah.
and I thought what I might do is actually sign it for you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but this is actually the shoot.
Shit.
Yeah,
Yeah, cool.
yeah.
I'll just hold this up. Seth, you want it? That one? Sammie's Mile High Club.
Yeah.
Our busty hostess takes you up there. Far out. What a great shot.
Yeah. So it was like one of my most favorite shoots, but also it's a
She's
really,
wearing less on this page.
yeah, it's a really relevant reminder of the trauma that I went through and also how skinny I got.
Right.
And that wasn't healthy, but also that this was a landmark for me to be able to actually get out of the house and get on a plane and go and shoot this shoot.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
it's like super close to my heart.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'd love to sign something for you and say, 2 chats with whiskey.
Oh, thank you.
And then you can keep it.
That's so
yeah.
lovely.
Yeah.
Is this like for me to keep?
This is for you to keep. So we've got
Oh,
this
that's
shoot
lovely. Thank
and then
you.
we've got like the centerfold here.
Far out. Sammie's Mile High Club. Centerfold. Zoo Weekly, August 10th, 2009.
Yeah, so that was a fucking long time ago.
You got that there, Seth? Yeah.
And so what I thought is that I would sign this for
And
you.
there she is. Oh, shit.
That's
And there
what
she
she
is
said.
right there in the flesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the 3D.
Yeah, so I thought I would sign this for you
That's
to
awesome.
say,
Thank you.
thank you for having me.
Thank you.
And should we do it now?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's do it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So should I sign it to 2 chats with whiskey?
Sure.
Or to just 2 whiskey?
No. Yeah, chat. Yeah.
And then should I write, thank you for finding my number on the toilet
On the
cubicle?
toilet cubicle. Why not? You write whatever you'd like, but that
Okay.
sounds wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. And then we might,
Go to a
take-
break?
yeah, we'll take a quick break, but yeah, we might get that, because that comes out, right? So I might get that framed and put it on the wall.
Yeah. So I thought this would be a really cool thing
Yeah.
for you to have.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll take that out and frame it and put it on the wall. That's cool.
So 2 chats with whiskey.
Yeah.
Grab my number from a toilet block anytime.
Yeah. Cool. Ridiculous. Yay. Is that on a camera there? You got that? Oh, thank you, Sammie. That's
You're
super
welcome.
lovely. Let's
No
have a
worries
break
at all.
and then come back. We've got heaps to talk about.
Sounds good. I look forward to it.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yay.
I love that I've actually stopped him in his tracks.
Yeah.
And he's actually speechless. So sorry, Mrs. Whiskey. But sure.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. I can't remember what we were talking about.
Well,
we weren't actually.
We
talking
weren't
about
really
mine.
talking about anything exciting.
No, but we were just before. We were talking about Zoo magazine.
Well,
Right,
I was
and
talking
stuff
about
to
it,
do with that.
but unfortunately, it took you about
Yeah,
5 minutes to click onto the vibration.
it threw me off. Can you tell me about, and everyone else who hasn't yet left to go and download a copy of said magazine, the 2007 Real Girl of the Year for Zoo Weekly magazine?
So it was really interesting. So I have been a part of the modelling industry for a very long time, since I was young. And then I worked for like a deportment and grooming agency back in the day.
A what in grooming?
Deportment and grooming.
What's
So it was-
deportment?
deportment is sort of like about how you carry yourself on the catwalk, how you
okay.
present yourself at a casting and so forth.
Okay.
And so when I was younger and I was in high school, I actually used to teach like the tiny tots.
Right.
Yeah. And so that was sort of like my introduction into the modelling industry. And then when I hit sort of 16.
So were you already modelling by then?
Yeah, but I was young.
Yeah.
And then when I sort of hit my teenage years, because I had no boobs, like I was so flat the walls were jealous, right? I had nothing. And I also didn't look sort of 15 or 16. I looked a lot older,
Okay.
which back then is a great thing. But this, when I'm 40, nearly, it's not that great.
You don't look 40.
Thank you.
You don't.
I do feel that though.
But
And my husband feels it. But,
yeah.
you know, you
I'll
can
take your word
just
for
take
it.
my word for
But
it.
you don't look 40.
So, you know, when I hit sort of 19, I had my daughter when I was 20.
Yeah.
And then when I turned 21, 6 months after I had my daughter, I had my first boob job because clearly I had nothing, right? So I had my first boob job, and then that was when I posed for Platinum magazine. And that was my very first nude shoot.
A platinum, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Is
right.
that like a Playboy?
Yeah, similar, right? So I knew the owner
Okay.
because at the time I worked at a strip club
Okay.
and I was stripping.
At what age?
I was 20.
Oh, okay. Sorry,
Yeah.
I thought you were... yeah, okay.
No,
yeah.
I was
all
20, right?
Okay, you were 20.
And so I worked up here in Brisbane at Showgirls and I loved it. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
And I only worked for about a month and then I got this boob job and then I posed nude for Platinum magazine. Anyway, I fell absolutely in love with posing nude for a living.
Right.
And the makeup artist that I worked with on that shoot, she actually did my makeup for my wedding.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
So was that coincidental or you
No.
had stayed in
It's
contact?
just that we've worked together for so many years and she
Right.
worked with me throughout Zoo and FHM and Ralph and so forth.
Right.
And so...
Oh, were you and Ralph as well?
Yeah. And the photographer that I'd worked with, actually I was voted like one of the hottest 108, I think, models in the world at
Really?
that time, according to Zoo magazine.
Wow. Well, you're the hottest
And
that
that-
I've ever had sitting there. I can tell you that right now.
That you didn't remember. And then there was
remember
like the Nuts magazine in the UK. I was voted like number
Nuts
one.
magazine. How
Nuts magazine.
UK is that?
I know, right?
What are we going to do with this
Yeah, yeah.
magazine? Take a guess. It's called Nuts.
Nuts. At least it wasn't like balls in your jaws.
Nutsonyouchin.com.
Yeah, that's it. Turkey slap that bitch. And so I was like voted one of the number one models in the world for that, which was exciting.
Right.
So anyway, as part of, oh fuck, I've lost my train of thought now. I think the whiskey's going to my head.
You were talking about, I see it doesn't help the big fun.
Working with Richard. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Thank you.
I'd been working with this particular makeup artist and photographer
Right.
in my infancy with Platinum magazine.
Okay.
And the owner of the magazine was actually a client at the strip club. That's how I met him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you have to remember I had fucking nothing upstairs.
Right.
Nothing.
Well, by
Zero.
this stage, you already had one.
Yeah, but it was like 300, so it was like not even a handful.
What do you mean $300? $300?
300 cc.
Okay.
I really.
What? How am I?
Really?
What do you mean
Really?
300 cc?
So 300 cc is like the cup size or the volume
Yeah.
for breast implants. And so you have to remember, like I said, I was so flat, the walls were jealous, right? I had nothing.
Right.
I'm also on the back end of being a champion gymnast from the age of 4. And so what happened is that I got this boob job and I posed nude.
Yeah.
So do you remember The Price is Right
I do.
back in the day?
I do. Come
So-
on down.
Come on down. So anyway,
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sammii, come on down.
That's right. So the lovely Samantha Steele at the time she was a ex-ballerina at the time, and she was like one of their very huge models. And
Samantha Steele. I don't know if that name rings a bell or if I'm just thinking that it does.
right, and so she was actually partaking in some horizontal activity with the owner of the magazine.
Right.
And so I got bumped.
Did you?
I got bumped from the cover.
Because she was.
Yeah,
She
'cause
was
she was
getting
seeing him.
bumped.
Yeah. She was getting bumped and romped.
Yeah.
And so I got bumped from the cover. And so I had this full sort of 7 or 8 page spread
Yeah.
in the magazine.
Yeah.
And I just fucking loved it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I loved, I spoke to you earlier about loving nursing.
Yeah.
I just fucking loved posing nude for a living.
Right.
I loved it. Like I worked much better with fucking no clothes on, right?
Is it because it was helping with confidence, with self-esteem?
No, I don't think it was anything like that. I think it was just I loved that I felt like a fucking woman
Yeah.
after feeling like a fucking tomboy for most of my life.
Right, because of, like you're
because I
saying,
had
but-
nothing.
like,
yeah.
okay,
And because I was a gymnast and I went into, diving afterwards and
Yeah.
so forth. And so I had nothing. And so I did this shoot for Platinum Magazine, and that's what made me fall in love with posing nude for a living.
Yeah.
And so then I submitted my photos to Zoo Weekly, and then that's when I won the Zoo Weekly Real Girl of the Year, and then it
Okay.
escalated from there. When I shot for Ralph magazine way back in the day, I actually had nothing, like
What do you mean had nothing?
boobs,
Oh, okay.
nothing. Even when I had like my daughter, so she's turning 18 in October.
Did you know that over the the heavy lockdown period, heavy lockdown period of the COVID pandemic, like globally, when it was everything, the whole world was shut down, 2020 sort of period, that I don't know the exact figures, Seth, if you're able to help us out with this, but I know that the figures were staggering. Like OnlyFans had something like, 200,000 models or whatever.
Yeah.
And then just
I
during
mean,
that,
do we call them models? It's
Well,
like
I'm-
saying a promotional model is the model.
Yeah, no. So I mean, model's probably not the right term,
Yeah.
but whatever. Subscribers is also not the right term.
Yeah.
Content providers, right?
yeah.
Content providers.
Yeah.
So something like 250,000 content providers,
Yeah.
and then during that pandemic period when everyone's locked in at home and nothing else to do, and a lot of them had lost their jobs, it went to like several million.
Yeah.
I think.
Can I just
Seth
ask
might be able to
you?
find us that. Yeah.
So, Whiskey,
yeah.
would you ever do OnlyFans?
Yeah. 100%.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
But what would be your niche market?
Well, I have no idea because I don't
But I
actually
want
know
to
how it
know.
works.
Like, I want to know about it.
Well, but I don't really know how OnlyFans works. Like I only know it as a word. I don't actually know.
Right. So you're not unsure of like what your niche market would be.
I'm unsure of what OnlyFans is.
Right.
Yeah. I'm unsure of what it is.
Okay.
So like what I think of it to be is like Pornhub for amateurs.
Okay, hang on.
Sorry,
Let's just
yeah.
throw to our producer
yeah.
who has
Seth,
the
let
answer.
us know, brother.
Okay, so I've got probably the concise part. The use of OnlyFans exploded during the pandemic, going from 7.5 million users users last November to 85 million.
Yeah, that's users. Any idea of the content
Yeah.
creators? But I mean, I guess it would have also had the same massive growth.
Yeah,
But how,
totally.
What was that? 75 to 7.
7.5 to
7.5.
7.5 to
Yeah,
85.
there was also another part. I'll search this other bit in a second, but it said a spokeswoman for OnlyFans told Guardian Australia that there was more than 1 million creators worldwide.
Right.
Excuse me, and 85 million registered users, and it paid out more, US $2 billion, which is 2.7 million Australian globally this year. But I'll find out the content provided.
Yeah,
and
see
then-
what you can find. Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, hang on. I've got one for you.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
Are we live? Okay.
So,
Yeah.
fact checked,
Fact check.
Sammii. Fact check, Sammii. The British surname
Bowl.
Cock is 4 times less common today than it was in 1881.
The British surname Cox.
Yeah, Cock. No, not Cox, plural. Ease up,
C-O-C-X.
No.
C-O-C-K.
C-O-C-K. Ease up, Tiger.
Was that a surname? Okay.
Yep.
It's 4 times
it's 4
less
times
common?
less common today than it was in 1881.
Fact. Yes?
Correct.
Correct.
I just liked.
Have I moved on to the second round?
I just liked leading you onto a cliffhanger.
Yeah. So give me another fact or fiction.
Okay.
Let's play fact or fiction. Fiction.
At any one time, 45 million people in the world are drunk.
Fucking fat cunt. Cheers.
Correct.
All right. There's two. Jeez, I've got to make that 45 million and one.
Hangovers cost the US economy more than 220 billion in lost
Workers' revenue.
productivity every year.
Look, it sounds plausible. I think that sounds plausible. I'm gonna say fact.
Fact.
There we go. Thanks for playing. Hey, Sammii, it's been so awesome chatting with you. Thank you so much. We are running out of time, but it's been a really, really good chat. You've told me so much. In fact, now I know who you actually are. So thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
I would love to have you back on. There's so much that you have to say.
Yeah.
You're such an amazing conversationalist. You can talk the what's the saying? Talk the iron off a iron door, brass monkey. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever the saying is.
Yep.
But you're a wonderful conversationalist, a wonderful person, a beautiful person. It sounds like, I'm sure, a wonderful mother, obviously an amazing wife. I had the pleasure of having a few drinks with your husband, and I look forward to having a few more and hearing a few stories that perhaps you don't want shared, but he's going to tell
Always
me
share
anyway.
everything.
So yeah, look, thank you so much, Sammii. I really
You're
appreciate you being on Chats with Whiskey. And if you would like to be back, I'd love to have you back.